Welcome back. So I did come back. The little fix that I did was just to make sure that the ball didn't initially go at an angle that it would hit the wall first. I tried to fix around with the bounce angle and something like that. Didn't seem to work. I could probably do it with another Boolean and so on, but probably the easiest way is just to make sure that the ball always sort of headed towards the paddle first. That was straight on, but it would come at a bit of an angle as well. Do it again here so you can see a bit of an angle, but that would just make sure that you have to always hit that first, okay? And don't worry about it going out of the bounds there. So to do that, all I did was come down here and change the get random bounce angle, because that's only called at the beginning, and I just limited the number of degrees here. So I did 160, kept that the same, and then did 200F. I think that was 260 before, and that's why it was going up. So you could play around with those numbers. Those aren't exact ones, but that solved that problem. I'll come back to the dealing with that paddle a little bit later on too. There's a few issues I think with the computer paddle, and we'll try to get that solved out. But anyways, we have got a decent game here, but obviously we're sort of playing against ourselves. So we want to get the computer script. And if you remember from way back, the computer script we just matched up with the player script. So that pops in. And so that was just following the arrows as well, just mirroring what the player did. So we're actually going to get rid of this, and we'll get rid of this whole thing here. And yep, that should be good. And so what we're going to do is basically create a move script for the ball. And so I think everything else should be okay, except we need to create two variables up here. Just trying to remember. So we need to have a private, just trying to think, we have to grab the ball. Actually, I don't think we do. We can just do it right in the script here. Okay. Anyways, so at the beginning, this will start our ball. Okay, so it still has the same, start our paddle, computer paddle at the starting position. We still have the same bounds, the same move speed. That's fine. So what we'll do is we'll get it to move. So we're going to create a move script. Okay, and this move script, the first thing it needs to do is basically find the ball. Okay, and so if there is no ball, and this is why I'm thinking need here, that's just a second. So if there's no ball, then it needs to find the ball. And so the ball is going to be the game object. And we're going to find game object with tag. So we're going to put a tag on the ball. We haven't done that yet. And we'll just tag it lowercase ball. Okay. So yeah. So that's what we're going to do. Now, obviously, we do need a ball here. So that's why I do need a variable up here. So we'll just set this to private. It's going to be a game object. And we'll call it ball. Okay. So hopefully that solves that problem. Good. Okay, so that's solved there. So if, and let me put my parentheses around there. So if there's no ball, then it will sort of generate this ball. Okay. And then we need to grab the script from it too. So first find the ball, and then if the ball dot get component. So if the ball dot get component, we want to grab the ball script from it, right? So we've got the ball script. We basically need to get the ball direction. And if it's going towards the right, okay, so we don't want it to move all the time, only when it's sort of approaching the ball here. So basically it's going to take the ball, get its ball script, grab the ball direction from that script, okay, and then if it's going towards the right, if it's moving towards the right, what we want to be able to do is transform, to actually grab the ball's position. So the ball position is going to be the ball dot transform dot local position. So now we've got access to its position. Okay, and then what we want to do is, based on that position, if the ball, let me just think here. So if the paddle's position, transform dot local position dot y, so is greater than the bottom bounds. Okay, so it's above the bottom boundary, and the ball pos dot y is less than the transform dot local position dot y. So again, if it's so basically the paddle's above the ball, right? So the ball's position is less than that position. We want to move that paddle down. So what we're going to do is we're going to move. Remember, we're on the paddle here. So this transform dot local position relates to the ball. So we're going to go plus equals new vector 3, and we don't want to change the y-axis, sorry, the x-axis, only the y-axis. So we're going to move it by the negative of the move speed times delta time, and then we keep the z the same as well. Okay, so because the move speed is usually positive, since we're going down, we're going to set that to negative there, and we'll close that up. Okay, and then basically this is going to be the same. Okay, but if it's less than the top bounds, and the ball position dot y is, this should be greater than the y, so this is going to move it up, then this is all the same here, except for move speed is now positive because we want to be moving up here. So that should do it, apart from the call to the move function here. Okay, so we have to always call move function every frame, and just want to make sure my parentheses are not mixed up, because they likely are here. So that is good to there. This, okay, we've got a few missing here. Oops. I think it's not very well formatted. I think that would work out. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the bottom. Is that looking okay? So that closes up that. That closes up that. The right one closed up that. If there was no ball, actually this one should be closed up here, sorry. So basically, if we have no ball, we need to close it up. So sorry, I've got an extra one now. Okay, that should do it. So just save that. Before we play, we need to make sure we tag the ball. Nope. Okay, so there was a problem there. The ball direction. Okay, just a second here. Yeah, so two little problems there. One is I just messed up here, so it won't be able to grab the ball direction. So that should solve that problem. And like I was mentioning, I did need to create this ball position as a variable. So I'm just going to come back up here and private. This is a vector 2 and ball position. And that should solve that problem there. Okay, that looks better. So just to highlight that again, you might want to pause. That's the top part of the script. And then basically the bottom part of the script there. Okay, so let's get this working. I'll save it again, go back to Unity, and we wanted to make sure that we tag the ball. Hopefully all our errors disappear here. That looks good. So go to the prefab, ball tagged, add tag. So we need a ball tag, and it was lowercase. And don't forget, you got to click back on there and tag it. So let's just see. So when the ball leaves the paddle, it shouldn't That's good. It shouldn't move, and now it starts to move. Perfect. Okay, and so we've got a decent game. Now what you'll find is that this speed, basically the paddle, computer paddle is impossible to play against, even if you take the best shot you can. Obviously you could speed up the movement of the ball. Ooh, I did win. Oh, Mr. Fleming, good shot. Yeah, we could speed up the ball, speed up the paddle. And that's some of the things that we'll look at later on, and you can probably start to do those on your own, how to make the game sort of incrementally more difficult to play. We do, and I will help you out here, with the AI as well. Sorry, not the AI, the UI, and also the idea of like, how do we get a score? How do we know when the ball's out here? We can just set some boundaries, right? And once the ball's over there, we want it to sort of disappear. Then we need to reinstantiate it and then sort of set a score. So we'll look at that next to get this UI sort of working. But I mean, we've got a pretty functional game here. Like I said, my paddle's a little bit odd on the computer side, and hopefully I can get that figured out a little bit later on. But we will come back and talk about the UI next.